I'm here.
Yeah,
I
he's
am
here.
here. Can you hear me? I was just letting you finish.
Yep. Jada,
Oh,
do you
okay.
want to do
Sure.
the top right team in a second here? All right, so this is
Never finish.
yeah. So this is match 3, game 3 between Kraken and Helveticano. So the winner of this determines the match winner. Both teams have already gotten 3 points for their 1 win respectively. But in the bottom left, we have OG Kush opening charges, Seb opening Plague, Kraken opening Imp, Saranja opening 4-3 Colossus, Moo opening 4-3 Colossus, and Heal opening charges. So
5 out of 6
Jedi.
ships are the same.
Yeah, yeah, it's near a very near mirror match once again.
Well, so let's see what the Raven can offer that the Overlord can't.
Yeah, that's gonna be a question. We got Wee King opening Siphon. We got Helveticano opening 2 and shield regeneration. Obi-Wan opening 3 armor and hull. Nox opening Plague. Plutarch opening 2 and the shield recharge, and Severf opening charges. So I guess this is something that Helveticano's team likes, is the 2 shield and then the constant regeneration on the Colossi. Doesn't seem like it makes a huge difference, so I don't know. Personally, I think 4-3 still might be the better open, but certainly it hasn't been too bad for them so far.
4-3 is better than Quantum Reactor, if that's what you're.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
That's for sure better, but if you want to tank, then five shields is the best.
Yep, I have five shields.
5 shields, but either one of them, 4 shields or 5 shields, is going to beat the Quantum Reactor. This is old news.
Yeah. But I'm like wondering if maybe it's
speed is really good.
Like maybe it's just with the
what's happening in the battle. You just in the early game, the shield armor that you get from the shield upgrades way more valuable than any regen.
Yeah, and just the missile damage, right? Being able to threaten ships.
Yeah. Oh well.
Whoa.
I say that too. It's adding up to a huge push for the.
Yeah,
for the red
absolutely.
team.
I mean, you'd think that maybe like the logic was with 4 tanks, maybe like the game, you know, you spend so much time in the mid that you end up getting value out of Quantum Reactor. But I think that ultimately you just need that you need the missile damage and you need the extra shield armor. Obi-Wan is going to be at 4,000 here coming back, but
blue team is trying to accomplish.
Heal has 1 more charge. Push. We'll see if he doesn't get anything with it. Kush still has 1 more charge. Severf has his charge. But yeah, a little bit of a contain here from the blue team. Oh yeah, that was a beautiful Plague.
I think this game is really gonna, if they survive, if they avoid getting really behind in farm, then it'll be an interesting matchup between the 2 OV's firepower versus the Scout and the D-mats and the things that the Raven can provide.
Yeah, it's interesting to me that both teams decided that the Leviathan from last game was the weak link, right? Because it seemed like the Leviathan last game, which I know you guys weren't here for this one, I'm just explaining what happened last game. The Leviathan let, teams set up the warp tricks, right? Because they would just stay on the field the whole time. So it seemed like it actually made sense having the Leviathan be the 4th tank. But it seems like both teams decided,
tough. If you're running. Like, what ship would did they swap out for the Leviathan? One of the Colos? Or?
No, one of the second Dread.
Okay. I mean, yeah, the Leviathan is a strong ship, but probably not against the Dreadnought,
Dreads are so tough of late to kill.
The Dread with its charges, I think, can dominate a Leviathan quite deep into the game, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just, I guess they decided that just the stability of the Dread is more valuable than the warp trick potential of the Leviathan.
Yeah, the way I'm kind of looking at it is like, if you're going to go with 4 tanks, and the other team is going to go with 4 tanks, then probably the Levy's not strong. It's a good assassin ship against missile boats and supports.
Yeah, and but the threat of the double siege at the end is quite big as well, because that double siege
doesn't offer
hard to beat.
It's a heavy tank comp.
Yeah, that was game 1 of this match group. Was Kraken's team ended up running a Void Ray on Kush, and they lost a Raven, and that's when the double siege came in that ended the game pretty soundly.
Yep.
But if this 2 Colo, 2 Dreadnought, you know, I'm sorry that it's a mirror match. I'd like to see that go up against something a little more, you know, 2 comps that are different.
Yeah, they've gone to match it by the look of it, haven't they? They've gone one side to match the other, and instead of trying to win the game, they're going to draw it out, I'd say. It'd be a big game. It should be a long game, because they're very matched.
Double Dread, double Colo can dominate against a more standard or more mixed comp. You know, that's a bit of a sad statement about the balance of the game.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, Helveticano definitely. I mean, this was the first matchup where either team has lost, right? So Kush has been running different comps really every game until they ran into Helveticano, and against Helveticano now they've transitioned into 4 tanks in these last 2 matchups, and it was with 4 tanks that they won last time.
We saw this this 4 tanks from Aces High in the last big tournament too. You know, quite often. Definitely.
Helvetica does run with this a lot, though. You see him out with 4 tanks a lot, as I said yesterday.
Yeah, he's definitely done Helveticus has done 4 tanks every single match in this tournament so far.
Yeah. He'll keep doing it until you can beat it.
Yeah, I mean, what did they lose to? They lost to a mirror match last game.
If he's that predictable, then all you need to do is run 2 battle cruisers with lockdown.
Yeah, that's right.
Just destroy him.
They did that yesterday, but the BC didn't run much, did he? He didn't.
He didn't get the lockdowns off. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, you have to do it right, but I know that works. I mean, I remember when this was popular. This 4 tanks was popular the last tournament, and putting those battle cruisers in really made them mad. You get them to just suicide because they couldn't do anything.
Yep, especially Colos they have a very hard time against BCs because they haven't got the armor. The Dreads can handle hits if they're locked down, but the Colos just can't.
And I think at this point, Helveticano was imagining, 4 tanks from the enemy team. So instead of the BC, he wanted to run the double Overlord for the continuous damage from Plague and the Siphons.
Yeah, I think it's a good call. I'm not sure if the Raven Overlord can handle the 2 Overlords. That's what's interesting about this game. I
mean, certainly we've seen some really big blackouts throughout the tournament. There was actually, I think in game 1 there was like a 6-ship blackout. So there's definitely been big blackouts when a Raven is run.
I would also like to see some well-executed shockwaves, to try to isolate and kill.
Yeah, people have gotten shockwave, but I haven't actually seen one really go off that made a big difference yet so far among these 2 teams today. There were a few shockwaves yesterday, but a lot of the time they would kind of land when a ship was already basically about to die. Basically just as a finisher.
It's good to see the Overlords are running normal Overlord builds today instead of just Side Blast from the start.
Pure Side Blast, yeah, that was kind of unusual yesterday.
Yeah, they're going just Plague and Siphon all of them. So
Side Blast is almost useless against these 4 tanks. You'd actually have to be able to consistently hit the Raven, or basically the Raven would have to be your first target.
Yeah, so kind of the only really unusual build choice here, I think, is on Helveticano's Colossus, where he's picked up an invulnerability shield now at the 12-minute mark.
That is a very interesting way of spend your money, because he's only got 275 energy and Lance.
Jeez, he'd barely have enough to get it off.
So he can't even do 1 Lance and then cast invulnerability shield. Let's see.
Must be full.
Yeah, he can do 1 of each,
We got 2 different ships threatening warp tricks here. This is kind of interesting. Like, there's definitely awareness, and then they warp in on Saranja, which they know has been spotted.
Maybe the decoy, yeah.
Yeah, they warped up the top there.
And now poor Kraken is taking all the Tempest blasts.
But even a warp trick won't accomplish much against this comp.
Well, I was kind of wondering, maybe instead of the double Overlord, it's like, do you think maybe one team could get away with like going 4 tanks and then like a carrier, right? Getting the high level and basically able to pick off the supports because with all
If they
the
had done that, they would win. You're right.
yeah.
They could consistently harass the Overlord and the Raven with ints. That would be a game-winning move. I agree with you.
But it would mean, you know,
The
probably.
Tempest probably would not work, but the ints on the squishies would.
And here we have Helveticano not having the energy for his bubble, and he gets pushed back with down to 5,000 life. We do have.
Still, I don't like Kraken getting in the mix there.
Yeah, he took a Siphon and a Plague.
I feel like he is way too deep for support in this kind of game. He'll get away with it, it looks like.
It's
But
Seb
they
who's
should've been
actually
all
really
over
in
him.
trouble now. He's down to 4,000
look
life,
at
and he has
him.
Sever Scats are on him. Sever has no level Gats though,
Sever
so
has
he can't sustain damage. Now it's Kush with Obi-Wan. Actually, both Obi-Wan and Kush are in a. This is a very tight fight down here. Saranja's going to get on Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan might go down here. Saranja does not have the energy for Lance. So Obi-Wan might be able to get away for that reason.
He will.
Yeah.
Oh, so close.
Now,
Lance? That would have been interesting.
that was a hot engage. That's what I love about these two teams is that, you know, they can get deep and they can manage to pull each other out a lot of the time.
I would say it comes down to the fact that they run out of energy.
Yeah.
As they get more energy, as the game goes on, it'll get scary.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure 2 denial ships can effectively deny 4 tanks. What do you think?
It's
It's difficult.
possible.
It'd be very hard, but
I guess you can. With Siphon, you can just constantly cast it and keep
Yep.
everybody low.
yeah, I guess the Siphon does really help you manage to get the sustained denial going on. But I think that the Raven is more not expecting to just constantly deny, but, you know, for the big play with the blackout, right? And the
Even an EMP on a ball is going to be more effective than the Siphons on individual ships if he gets a nice stack.
yeah, absolutely.
even at the 17-minute mark, the Plute's still running quite low shields on the Colo. It's only 4. I would think you'd be up around the between the 7 and 10 by this range, and he's only got 4 shields on. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the Ravens' chances of being a game winner. He does this. He has blackout already. Did
What
you
is
notice that?
going on with Kush?
I think he's trying to do a warp trick here.
But he kind
Not all of
of
them
he was
have
kind of
got warp.
bouncing around this rock for a second. It was kind of confusing. Like, are you doing the warp
Trying
trick
to
or
trick
not?
him.
What red team
No,
is
he's
trying to do is they
trying to
went
trick
to early blackout, and now they're going to try to use it on this warp trick.
Here
If
it
they
comes
get this
here.
blackout off and get a kill, it could be GG.
Here we go.
Side blast
So
of
there's
only
no
normal
point in trying
1200.
this without
Blackout
blackout.
on Plutarch? No? Okay, they're cutting
he's
up around
gonna
the
try to
rock.
get
He
the
wants
whole
he
team.
wants more. Yeah, he wants more targets. Oh, he gets a siphon. He has to drop it now. Where's the black? Okay, he drops it on Severf. Actually, that's not the target I was expecting.
No,
but
but look,
Plutarch
it's
goes
off.
down.
Yeah.
Plute's got no shield. See, there you go. Doesn't help you.
Obi-Wan, 6,000 life. They're staying on him for the moment.
I
Severf.
think even the threat of blackout made it hard for the blue team to rally because they knew they couldn't stack.
There's just not a target here for them now to get a revenge kill here.
Nope.
Kush is pushing in on the Overlords, but now he's going to be taking a little bit of damage here. Severus
Neither
coming.
Overlord has a side blast yet, so they're really not a threat at all to these tanks. Just their siphon.
Just a bunch of
inside,
tanks slapping
pushing
each
it
other
back
now.
Yeah, if you don't combine the siphon with the side blast, the Ovi is not going to kill anything.
Now a little bit of pressure on Severf as he comes out. But most of them are out of energy at this point, so it's really just gats and missiles. There was one lance. Obi-Wan taking a little bit of damage as well. Severf is actually down to 3,000 if they can get
Sriracha
another
has
charge.
500 energy.
Severf going around this
Still
rock.
no gats. We've got no gats from the red team. That's why they're not.
Heal you actually is at 3,000 now, and Severf has turned into him with his protective field. This is a little bit greedy. He's now going into 3 enemy ships. Saranja is 30 energy away from another lance.
Yeah, it seemed to work. They pushed him back.
And so I mean, ultimately, Plutarch was one of the lowest farm ships, so as far as pickups go, it was the least terrible target for the blue team, but still pretty significant. I mean, ultimately, I don't think the game is really sealed until one of the Overlords or the Raven goes down, but I guess Obi-Wan is going to take a little bit more damage here, too.
Both of the colos on the red team are better farmed as well, so they got a bit more in them, more shields, lance.
All right, let's see if we got Gats.
Yeah.
Blue team went for Gats. Blast. All the 3 Overlords have Side Blast now. Overlords have Side Blast now. If you didn't hear me.
And Nox is up to 2,000 on his Side Blast.
Nox is very strong.
Blue team is upping Gats on their dreads. OG Kush still hasn't bought any Gats.
Yeah, Kush doesn't seem to like the Gats. He's up to 1,900 on his charge.
Wasn't he the guy who used to always open 5 Gats and
he opens 5 Gats? Yep, that's
him.
That's the OG Kush build. Yeah, 5 Gats open.
Right. Yeah. So he didn't do it here.
It's strange, isn't it?
I don't think I've seen him do 5 Gats, at least in this particular tournament.
Preach about that and mock anybody who opened with the explosive charge. Absolutely.
Absolutely true. There's a warp trick again, but it's a bit. There's no one there.
Yeah, it's more like a warp in. They're not going to trick anything here, but they just always have a warp in, right? Regardless of whether they can get anything or not, just because they like the board presence. They like
it's the way good teams play.
Yeah.
Don't ever let them farm.
But this is definitely not the position that Helveticano likes to be in. Like against the teams yesterday, he'd always push in, have his 4 tanks would just contain the enemy team until like the 8-minute mark. They'd get like a 400 farm lead, go back, and then basically just win the game from there. And they just haven't really been able to do that in any of these games against Kraken's team. And now that Kraken's team has started just mirror matching them, they're getting outplayed in the 4 tank compositions.
Right now, Nox has the strongest Side Blast. He's almost at 2K.
Yeah, it's not going to do much if they keep targeting these Colossi with the Side Blasts, because the Hardened Shield just absorbs all of it. Oh, there we go. Now Seb taking one. If they can get a few Side Blasts on Seb, that can be really significant.
At this point, the Side Blasts are approaching 2K, and we still don't have DMAT. I think that's a mistake, but maybe he'll get it on this back.
Yeah, I mean, he had to commit pretty hard into the blackout. He actually cannot get it right now. He only has 139 minerals.
Able to do a constant DMAT spam on Seb and let Seb go after one of those OVs with Side Blast.
Kraken actually does not warp back. He just warps to the side to sever. What is Kraken looking for? It looks like he wants to drop a blackout. Yeah.
That invuln is what convinced him to turn around.
And then Nox comes down and drops a Siphon. It was a good imp, but the Siphon still lands.
They both nailed him.
Siphon on Saranja. It's kind of hard to commentate every now and then when it's 4 tanks versus 4 tanks, because there's just so many big fat men slapping each other all the time.
Yeah. Lots of pushes happening here. Back and forth, back and forwards.
Constant pressure. That's what both team compositions are about. And just looking for that moment where you can just commit in on one ship. Hilyu loves hotkeys.
The longer this game goes, the more...
That was a beautiful play. He nailed 3 ships there. The Colossus, the Dread, and the Raven.
The longer this goes, the better the chances are for Helveticano's team.
Yeah, his if you notice them, both the OVs are just continually siphoning, and the tanks on the bottom team are out of energy nearly all the time. So
the two Ovies can dominate this late game
if they can get there, right? I mean, they're down 500 farm and 1 ship right now, but they can certainly still turn this around with... All they need is 1 good pick here, right? And that's...
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter if they're down in farm. If the Ovies get what they need, you know, they can win the late game.
It's not what all the ships have, it's just what the Ovies need.
Well, the Ovies got a much better chance against the Colos, which they're picking on. They'll do the Dreads next, probably.
And then... What's Kraken doing? He's going to go around the rocks again.
What he did last time.
Yeah.
Early back and up the side and jump in. Might catch someone.
That's what they want to do. They want to get another pick.
If they can
Actually, if they can get Nox right now, right? I mean, if you just cut
right
him
now,
right now.
way forwards.
End of the game, yeah.
Nox is better be careful. Oh, he's going north. He's getting away.
Yeah,
I wonder if they see him.
Yeah,
he should have antenna clear.
Yeah, they definitely saw this. I should have been in Nox's perspective for a second there.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is not going to be a kill now.
But it pushed them back virtually straight away. They didn't sit there and farm for long at all.
And Tempests coming out, but I feel like Tempests do very little against either one of these compositions at this point. Only if they manage to land any shots on the Overlords, really, yeah?
Tempests are generally a threat to Dreadnoughts because the protective field doesn't reduce their damage the way it does like a Psy Blast or something. But the Tempests that spawn with a creep have higher tankiness and lower damage than carrier spawn Tempests, so they're less of a threat to the Dreads.
This is something that Kush does as well, is he keeps doing Tinged Shields on his Dreadnought.
Yeah.
That's a great way to absorb Psy Blast damage.
Absolutely.
Against the Psy Blast, especially when you're energy denied, that's a great bulwark.
So just a little bit of a contain here, it seems, that blue team is just not really pushing out very easily.
Blue team haven't cottoned on to the warp trick around the side and just get you back all the time. They're still just letting red team do that each turn.
And they keep trying to just push in with like 1 or 2 ships at a time, and now Helveticano is like just a little bit.
If you look right now, they're getting pushed around because the Overlords aren't contributing anything. Once they get into the fight, you know, things can get more interesting.
Well, Helyu is now committed pretty deep into this. I guess
both Overlords are ready to fight now, so they're going to push back.
Kush is giant eye, and if they can actually drop Psy Blasts once he's down. Yeah, there it is. He's down to 9,000 still, but I mean, if they can get a few more, 6,000. He's still siphoned. 4,000.
Psy Blast, yeah, he got hit hard then. Siphon, Psy Blast.
Charge down to 3,700. Psy Blast down to 1,800, but they have to. They're getting a little nervous here. They don't want to commit 300 on him though. Blackout lands. Obi-Wan is blacked out.
That was a save.
That was a save, yeah.
That was a really big save from Kraken there.
He was down to 300. So OG was hurt bad then.
If one of those Ovies had stayed on him, even the blackout, you know, I wonder.
Yeah, I mean, one more Psy Blast there might have been the pick.
Nox ran out of energy there.
One thing I would like to see from Helveticano is Guardian Shield, so he can help protect one of those Ovies if they get in trouble. He doesn't have that.
Nox dropping some of these Psy Blasts, these 2,700 damage Psy Blasts on the battle station, saying, well, you guys can't heal for long.
He's still got quite a low shield, Helveticano, and he hasn't got shield regen, so he's not as tanky as the other two. Both the other two are, as you would expect, around the 10. He's only at 5. He'll be building that up soon, I would think. 6. And he's picked up the shield regen, so that's good. He's picked up something.
He's got a very heavy energy build.
Yeah. High energy there, but he needs his shield regen, so he was vulnerable there. So they're going for warp trick. He's doing the same thing that they've been doing now.
But of course, I mean, they know that there's a
They've
Raven.
got radar, yeah.
Yeah. And they're not coming back.
They're just ignoring it.
So he's on their radar. They don't care.
Yeah. No, they're just sort of they're thinking about it. Or are they coming over to get him?
They're,
They're
they're
coming over to
probably
get him.
saying, please, Warp Trick.
Yeah, they're saying we're gonna black you all out when you come in.
Here we go. Here we go.
And Blackout is up. He probably wants to wait for Invulnerability to be down, but now everyone is on top of everyone else here. They're so close to
Well, they're
base.
trying to get weaking.
Yeah, they want to get weaking, but they're so close to base still. It's going to be hard to dive in. Actually, a little bit of damage getting in on...
Look at Sever. He's really pressuring the weak ships.
Yeah, he's siphoned, though, so he's going to run out of his protective fields, but... Yeah, he just gets Kraken shields down, but now he's going to have to turn off.
The Sky Fury's coming in, too.
Yeah, Sky Fury and Tempests. Getting a little bit damage in on Kush. A little bit of damage on Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan has no energy.
Kind of got a flank,
Whoa, Nox is actually taking a fair amount of damage from Saranja.
Nox is their big side blast as well, so...
Him, though. They need to get back off.
And so this might be a bit of a failed push by blue team then. They really needed to...
Yeah, that was their warp trick and they never got them past the 50.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've just stayed and held them.
And I don't think they used their blackout yet either.
Yeah, they still have Blackout.
Nope.
And Helveticano used his invulnerability shield, so it's down for another 25 seconds. And the Overlords took a lot of damage.
Let me ask you guys, do you think that the blue team has an effective counter to a double siege?
I mean,
It's gonna be difficult.
maybe that's why Helveticano picked up the early invulnerability, so that he could get in on a siege. I mean, that's how they would get in, and then if he just invulnerability'd in and they warped in on him. Can you warp in on invulnerability?
Yes.
Yeah, so that must be the logic there, right?
I guess. So your theory is you invuln your Colo, get right on top of the Dread, everybody warps in, and then they try to kill him, but with the Side Blast? Because the Pro Field protects the Siege Dread from almost anything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the gaps theoretically would
You need
help.
to lock him down and
There's no lockdown, but you take all this
get
energy.
a nuke on him. Yeah. But
Oh, there ain't no nukes here.
can take the siege.
See, that's where Blackout comes in. If blue team tries a double siege,
Ooh.
of them out.
Weaking is actually on a little...
way-
Weaking
he's
is
dead.
way dead here. He's
Yeah.
not even kind of dead.
Dead. He's gone.
Yeah, that's going to be a really big loss for blue team. So it's looking like Kraken is actually going to manage to take this one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's over now. The Raven's still alive.
Yeah, that was our second highest farm ship. That was 800 farm loss right there, and most of their win condition with it.
Did you see how he got out of position? I looked at when I saw it, it was already over.
He like stalled for like half a second after warping in. I think he warped in on one of the tanks that was like in the middle of fighting someone. I don't know. It was
Kush is going for Nox.
a black on
I
the
think
Sever.
Nox is dead.
And he's
I
getting
think
the
it's
gats on
Sever.
him. 10
Yeah,
gats.
the real target is Sever, but look at they just lost Raider.
Sevo is down to 1,000.
Sub, yeah,
Look at this.
Sub might go down here.
He's gone. What's he gonna do? Where's he gonna run?
And that was the highest farm ship on red team. That the game's actually.
And Sev's coming back into it.
I'd be on the Raven, not running away. Look at the Raven.
Helveticano does not
Obi-Wan.
have the energy for invuln here. He's down to 7,000, 6,000, 5,000,
Gone.
2,000.
Look at
He's
Kraken.
1,000.
Kraken's gone. Obi-Wan's gone.
Kraken is gone. Everyone is dying. I can't keep track of all the murder.
What's happening now?
On the other hand, it's 4 versus 2, so I guess whatever.
Yeah, it's done now. Goodness.
That's interesting. All the supports, Obies and Ravens, they're gone on both teams.
And it's not really like double siege can quite hold out against double Colossus.
All red, I mean, they can play it out however they want, but if red team goes double siege, there's nothing blue team can do to stop them from taking the mothership.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's done.
More of an exciting ending than I think I was expecting, though.
Yeah, it happened very fast, didn't it?
It was carnage.
But it looks like they're just gonna push all the way down. And, no, he's gonna... Severov is gonna turn. I mean...
Notice that Kush has siege and he's just going straight.
Yeah,
He could care less. He's just gonna go siege.
He's going to get up there, siege up, and they're going to warp in on him.
The thing is, when you have siege, I don't know if everybody realizes this or not, but with protective field, cannot be hurt by siege. It does 0 damage.
Yeah, siege on siege.
Siege on siege does nothing.
Is that what you're saying? Yep.
Yeah, so what you want to do is you need to be the one sieging the enemy's base, and then you just target the mothership and the towers, and the enemy siege under the mothership can't even hurt you.
Yeah, they're both siege.
Up here, but it just won't matter.
They're just going to be methodical, go from tower to base.
And so, I mean, he's gonna try to just get gats on them, I guess, but
No, he has nothing. There's nothing. No way to hurt them. A dread cannot hurt another dread. Blinking.
yeah, he's basically not even
comes down
doing
to
shield
whoever
damage.
snipes the base first. So they just go snipe the base, and that's the win.
Yeah, so
He's just got gats on him, OG, and he doesn't even care. He's just moving position, changing up, sieging up.
That's right.
He'll
He
use it the same
understands.
thing. Well, he'll use way
And
too
don't even hit the motherships because you won't hurt them either. Can only hurt. Can only hurt the base.
Obi-Wan's
bomb.
just sitting behind him.
The bombs, nothing. Look at, he does no damage.
thank you for the follow,
OG
Hazen
goodbye,
boy.
Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Siege on the mothership with all the fighters on him too.
Just strong. It's actually a glitch. In the old version, you would do some damage through the pro field, enough that you could push a siege dread away with another siege dread. In this version, can't.
The E-shields pop, but I mean it doesn't matter. And the mothership goes down, and that's
It's the combination of the damage reduction from armor, from hull, and the damage reduction from the purple shield are giving, and siege being counted as an ability.